Suros Regime. This was the first exotic that I fell in love with back in Destiny 1. Probably the first exotic you fell in love with. I would have not made it through Vault of Glass without this exotic. So I felt like there was no better review to end the year on than Suros Regime. Let's talk about this weapon, guys, what's happening intrinsically, and whether or not you should give this auto rifle a chance. First up, the intrinsic perk here, Suros Legacy. The bottom half of each magazine deals bonus damage and has a chance to return health on kill. Now, I don't know what the chance percentage is. Originally, we were supposed to get an exotic catalyst for Suros Regime that was going to greatly increase that chance to return health on kill. However, that was over 6 months ago. We have not heard anything else about Suros Regime catalyst, the Rat King catalyst, Prospector, and a couple of other weapons that have just not been talked about. Hopefully that is still something in the works from Bungie, as that catalyst would greatly increase the value of Suros Regime, and actually I would like it if the catalyst did a little more. Now let's talk about the two different modes that this gun fires in and what the time to kill value is for each of them. First up, we got spinning up, which is the gameplay you see today. Holding down the trigger increases the rate of fire. The other is dual speed receiver. When aiming down sights, weapon rate of fire slows while weapon damage increases. Now we actually did a build probably back in August. This was right before Forsaken launch. We took dual speed receiver, paired it with Actium War Rig, primed our weapon down to that bottom half of the magazine to get that extra damage, and we were melting people pretty fast. I recently tried to do that build again, and it's not as effective. And honestly, it just takes too much work. It's a fun build, believe me. When you're hitting like 36, 37 per crit with an auto rifle, especially one as consistent as Suros Regime, it can get nasty real quick. But I recently started using spinning up more, which turns this gun into a laser. And I don't know if there's been like a secret rework to Suros, because I know I used spinning up back when the new sandbox changes hit for Forsaken. And spinning up did not feel as good as it feels right now. And I'm almost certain we have not seen an auto rifle buff of any sort in terms of sandbox changes that Bungie has actually disclosed. But let's talk about damage values here. For something like dual speed receiver, you're hitting 34 per crit and 22 per body and a 0.83 second time to kill. With spinning up though, we're hitting 20 per crit and 13 per body. Now, courtesy to Mercules for the rate of fire here, essentially with spinning up, your first 12 shots when holding the trigger down shoots at 600 rounds per minute. The next 12 after that shoots at 720 rounds per minute. And the next 12 shots after that shoots at 900 rounds per minute. You see the insanity here. It can get really crazy. Now granted, for the most part, you should definitely be killing any of your targets in 12 shots. The point is when you have, I guess, a group of enemies in front of you, you will be able to melt them very quickly. Essentially going from a 0.9 second time to kill at 600 rounds per minute, a 0.77 time to kill at 720, and a 0.6 time to kill at 900 rounds per minute. Needless to say, you see where this gun can get nasty, and all it requires you to do is just lay on the trigger. Now, for a long time now, I didn't like spinning up, but that was before we started getting armor pieces that started to aid these weapons, specifically something like auto rifle targeting that you see here today. Little things like that allows for our weapon to get a little bit of help there in terms of consistency, which overall, I don't know if that's what's causing it, if there was like some kind of like ninja buff to Suros Regime, which I highly doubt that's the case. I'm just letting you know that spinning up Suros Regime, for some reason, for the past few days, has felt amazing. Now, I want to talk about that catalyst. Again, Bungie has been quiet about it. They haven't said anything about it, but it's still in the database. Suros Ascendants. Increased chance for kills to regenerate health. You know, of course, how much is that increased chance? I've said it before in the past. Are we talking like Crimson level? Like almost every kill gives us back health regeneration? If that's the case, that's pretty nasty. I would very much be open to that. But the other side of things that I would really like to see on this weapon, in combination with Suros Ascendants, is to fully max out that range stat. We are currently sitting at 60 range with this weapon. And if there's anything that can hurt Suros in terms of its lethality, it's damage fall off. And as good as spinning up has felt here for the past few days, I think maxing out that range wouldn't make auto rifles meta, but Suros would be a hell of a contender for auto rifle enthusiasts. So guys, overall, try out Suros right now. It feels much better than what we give it credit for. I've been mistaken trying to use dual speed receiver more than spinning up in Crucible, but man, has that one perk change changed my mind. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.